From the other side of the matchup, we welcome back Gentry Estes, columnist for the Tennessean. The last time we talked to you, Gentry, was back when the Bills and Titans had to play on a Tuesday night because of COVID issues a few years back. It's great to have you back on the show, and now, of course, under normal circumstances. And I want to start with that question about the weather. If we're in for a messy evening in Orchard Park, would you say that's a plus for the way the Titans, especially, play offensively?
Yeah, probably. Look, here I was excited about getting to go to Buffalo in September when the schedule came out. Now you've got me all worried about the weather when I get up there. But I guess when you look at the Titans, you're talking about a team that's very physical. They obviously want to work through Derrick Henry offensively and what they're able to do on the ground. So it would make some sense that adverse weather would help them. But you never know when you get into a situation like that, if the weather does become a factor. I've always kind of believed that sort of thing might matter more high school, college even, but the pros are pros, and I feel like that, look, the Titans are going to have their hands full with the Bills no matter what the weather looks like.
Yeah, if we look back a week, the Rams had one of the league's better defenses last year during the Super Bowl run. But last week, besides a few mental mistakes by the Bills, just could not stop Josh Allen and company in that opener. How do you think the Titans are going to approach this to try to slow down that explosive offense?
Well, I don't know how they would compare to the Rams. I actually think there are some similarities. Most notably, the fact that the Titans' best player defensively is Jeffrey Simmons, an interior D lineman. I feel like he's the second best interior D lineman in the NFL behind Aaron Donald. Aaron Donald really didn't have a big impact in that game. I mean, it didn't seem like really anyone on the Rams defense did. The Bills, really, if it wasn't for the turnovers, they could have named their score in that game. And I feel like you don't really look at the Titans and see a reason to think they would fare much better. But I will say the Titans opener, they lost to the Giants. Their defense kind of gave in late, let Saquon Barkley kind of take over the game. And they gave up a lot of yards rushing, which has not been the case for the Titans the last couple of years. I think that was their worst run defensive performance in like 4 years or something like that. But in the first half, the game was 13-0 at halftime, and the Titans, I think, had 4 sacks in the first half. That continued a stretch from last year when they lost in the playoffs to Joe Burrow and the Bengals. They had 9 sacks in that game. So I do feel like from the standpoint of a pass rush, the Titans can do that. And I feel like their defense has gotten a lot better at the back end, but it just seemed like the Giants had their number, and I think some of that was a great player playing great in Saquon Barkley. And certainly the Bills have the ability to do that with their quarterback and some other guys too. Gentry,
I've only got about 30 seconds left, so real quick if you can. The Titans have had the Bills number lately, right? Of course, we think of the heartbreaking loss that we had on the road against the Titans last year. This time around, is it the Bills are a better team, or is it the Titans are a worse team? Because we're not looking at a 10-point spread, even though, how it matched up last year.
Yeah, I mean, I think most people would expect the Titans are a worse team. They traded A.J. Brown in the offseason. They lost a key offensive lineman in Roger Saffold, who's now in Buffalo. And there's a reason to look at the Titans and see that they might not be as strong. But I'll tell you, this is a weird game, and it's been a weird game the last couple of years. I believe I probably picked the Bills to beat the Titans each of the last 2 years, especially in that COVID game. Titans hadn't even practiced in 2 weeks, and they came out and won that game in a rout. So this is a weird series, I'll say that.
We'll look forward to what happens on Monday night. Gentry Estes writes for the Tennessean. Thanks for giving us your perspective. We appreciate it.